A few weeks ago I started a new job, and as part of my duties I'm required to cook a dessert every day, which I love. And last week I made a lemon delicious pudding one day and a pineapple delicious pudding the next day, and everyone raved about them. These are really old recipes. They're served cold with lashings of cream, and apart from being delicious, the main things I love about them is they're quick, they're simple, and they use mainly pantry ingredients. My name's Lee. Welcome to this video. I take 1/4 cup of self-raising flour and put it into a sifter. If you're using plain flour, add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Then to the flour I add 1/2 cup of custard sugar, and I stir that a little bit and set it aside. Then I separate 2 large eggs, and I beat the egg whites until soft peaks form. I stir the yolks, and then I add 1/2 cup of milk, the zest of either a lemon or a lime. The recipe says lemon, but I think lime goes wonderful with pineapple. So the zest and also the juice of either a lemon or a lime. 1 440 gram tin of crushed pineapple, and then I add this mixture to my flour mixture. I stir it until it's well combined, and then I just fold through the 2 egg whites. And it doesn't matter if there's egg white that's not mixed in, that's perfectly fine. I grease a tin, and this one's 26 centimeters, and I place this tin inside another tin and pour the mixture in. And this next step is easier to do by just putting the tin in the oven and pouring the water in. But what you want is warm, not boiling water, but warm water, almost up to the top of the tin. And I'll place them carefully in a preheated oven of 190 degrees Celsius, convection, no fan, for 20 minutes, and then I'll turn the heat down to 160 degrees, convection, no fan, and cook it for a further 25 minutes. I forgot to mention, so what this pudding looks like is a thin layer of cake, and underneath is a custard, and it magically separates during cooking. So you need the juice and rind of 3 lemons for the lemon delicious, and I set that aside. You'll need 3 tablespoons, which is 43 grams of soft butter, 1.5 cups of milk, and 3 large eggs separated. Beat the whites until soft peaks form. Now it's time to put it all together. Into a bowl, place your softened butter plus 1 cup of white sugar or caster sugar and 2 tablespoons. So that's 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And either using your hand or electric beater, cream that. It's difficult to really cream butter and sugar when there's only a small portion of butter. But this is what you're after. It's pretty forgiving, this recipe. Now I add the egg yolks and just a little bit of the milk. Until it's all mixed thoroughly. Then I sift in 5 tablespoons of flour, and I'm using self-raising flour. If you use plain flour, just add 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder as well. And mix that until it's all blended. Because of the low flour ingredient in both the lemon and the pineapple delicious, you can easily substitute gluten-free flour for this. It translates beautifully. And once that's nice and smooth, I add the remaining milk, the lemon rind, and the juice of the 3 lemons. And then lastly, I fold in the egg whites. And again, there'll be some egg whites that are not mixed in, and that's perfectly fine. I get another tin, the same size as before. I grease that with a bit of butter and pour in the mixture. And again, I place it in a tin and pour warm but not boiling water almost to the top of the tin, just under the lip of the tin, and place it in a preheated oven of 190 degrees Celsius, no fan, for 20 minutes, after which time I reduce the heat to about 150 degrees, no fan, and cook it for a further 25 minutes. Once the pudding is cool enough to go in the fridge, cover it and place it in the fridge until it's really cold, at least a couple of hours. So this one is the pineapple one, and I just cut it into 8. You can cut it into whatever you want. And I'll take a piece out. You can see in there that stuff that is left is custard, and I'll spoon some of that underneath. A little bit of icing sugar. I happen to have some fresh pineapple, so I'll put it on just a few pieces for decoration. And the last thing I need on that is cream. And the next one is the lemon delicious. A little bit of icing sugar. You can garnish this one with a slice of lemon if you like, and a drizzle of cream. And if you wanted to make a lime delicious, just swap the limes for lemons, or the lemons, yeah.
Please try again.
And if you wanted to make a lime delicious pudding, just swap limes for lemons in the lemon delicious recipe. I would have done that today as well, but there's only so much deliciousness Mike and I can eat in the weekend. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.